everybody. Welcome to Sunday night's live crafting. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Feeling a bit odd today, I won't lie. So here, feeling very odd. So hi to Bev, we'll wait for a few people to join and we'll get started. So I'll waffle along for 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, feeling really strange tonight. We had the news here last night, about this time last night, that we're going back into lockdown here in the UK. So I've just sat at my craft desk for about an hour and a half and most of what I've made has gone in the bin. So it's been one of those days, but I'm quite pleased with what I've made and I'm really glad I didn't wing it with you all tonight. So I think it would have been a disaster. So I've made something for you I want to share with you all tonight. It's a technique that I've wanted to try for a really long time. I keep seeing it pop up and I think, oh, that looks really pretty, I'm going to give that a go, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to show you a new little technique that I found tonight. It's using stamping blends and your dies, so we'll give that a go. I've used the lovely Peace and Joy stamp set and dies. So I'm excited to share that because it is one of my favourites in the mini catalogue. It is still available. We're going into the last 2 months of this catalogue now. Where has the time gone? Who knows? So let's get started. So hello to everyone who's joining right now. Oh, my got this in my hand. Hi to Dawn. Hi to Anne. Hi to Christine, Sarah, Hilary. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, ladies. And we will get started. So I'm going to just pop you on hold. I'll turn my camera around so you can see my desk and we'll get started. So bear with me, guys. Okay, so here's my blank desk, my lovely clean desk. So this is the card I'm going to make for you this evening. And the technique that I'm going to show you is this lovely dotting technique. I think it's really fun. I've seen it quite a lot on Pinterest over the last, I'd say, a couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer. And I finally gave it a go this evening and it didn't go in the bin, so let's give it a try. So for this card I've got a real red card base and I've cut this one a bit differently just to show you the different design, and then you've got 2 pieces that are exactly the same measurements. I've got a garden green layer with a whisper white layer on top for the middle, and exactly the same for the front of the card. So to start with, we're just going to be working on this front white piece. Okay, now you're going to start the joy dies. You actually get 3 different layers. You get this lovely detailed word, which is what I've cut in the white. You then get the outline, which is what I've cut in the black there, so they layer together. Be careful not to lose the dot of the eye. And then you have a 3rd outline, and they layer together really, really nicely. But we're going to start by using this one. So this is the main outline, okay, and we're going to start it really, really lightly. Just going to see if I've got a better pencil here. This one looks a bit blunt. I haven't. Okay, so line up your die on your piece of card where you want it to go, and really lightly, and I mean really lightly so you can barely see it, just go round the edge. Hi everyone who's just hopping on. I'm going to try and keep up with comments tonight. I'll do my best. Okay, so I've drawn around that, and you can see, you can barely even see that. So that's all we need that outline for. And then I've chosen 4 colours for tonight's card. Just have a swig of my tea. I've got dark cherry cobbler, I've got dark old olive, I've got light cherry cobbler, and I've got granny apple green. So those are the shades of red that I've gone for, and the shades of green, and I actually think they work really nicely. I would probably say I do like the real red Real red cardstock is my absolute favourite Christmas red, but I do think the cherry cobbler blends are probably my favourite tone of red, if that makes sense. So we're going to start, and I'm going to use the lighter red colour, so light cherry cobbler, and you're working with your felt tip end. I'm going to bring my camera in just so that you can see this. So to start with, I'm just going to go round with a couple of dots going over that line, and don't worry about being too precise or uniform, because it will all muddle in together. If anything, you don't want it to be uniform, you want it to appear random. And I'm just doing really light dots. You're letting the pen kind of do the work for you. Just follow it all the way around. Like so. Okay, and then carefully take a rubber and rub out that pencil line. Let me know if anyone's tried or seen this technique before, or if it's on your wish list to give it a go. Right, so now we've rubbed that out, you can't see that pencil line at all, okay, and we've still got our lovely outline. So once you're happy with your red dots, I'm going to go in with the old olive, and I'm just going to fill in around it, and you can use as many or as little as you fancy. And it's actually, I quite enjoy it. I think I needed something a bit like this tonight to switch. Honestly, nothing was working. You have days like that though, don't you? I'd like to think it makes me normal. It's also absolutely blowing a gale here. My internet has been in and out all evening. I was worried at one point I would have to cancel, but my IT support friend, aka my husband, reassured me it would be okay. So if I lose you tonight, I'm ever so sorry, but I will pick it up again. Okay, so just going round, building up that colour. I'm nearly there, back to the beginning. Okay, so it's starting to... What's the technique called? I have no idea, Louise, but I'm going to go with the dot technique. Really adventurous. But I don't know, I'm not sure. So now I'm just going to go in with some light, and the trick is to kind of muddle them all in together. Oh, Louise, wow, you have been busy. The snowflakes are really special. I'd definitely say you chose well there, and this one as well is really handy. I really do like the words, and actually the words can go with any of the bundles that you've got, or any of the stamp sets. I've seen this one used quite a lot. So you can see it's starting to piece together. I am a very traditional red and green Christmas colour person, and I think that's maybe where I was going wrong earlier on tonight. I was trying to use different colours that wasn't maybe comfortable with, so snowflakes are super useful, you're right, Louise. They are really, really handy and pretty classic and timeless. It's an art style called sorry about this, Sue, I don't know if I can pronounce that, pointillism, that picture's completely built with dots. Oh, maybe I'll have a look at that after. I'd love to say that's where I got it from, Sue, but I'm not that clever. Okay, so that's 3 greens, and now let's go in with the light one, and this is Granny Apple Green. Just fill in any particularly spaces that you've got there. Dottilism, yeah, like that, Bev. You're on my wavelength. Okay. Nearly there now. I've forgotten where I started. I think it's up there. I think by using kind of a couple of different shades of colour, it makes it appear more sort of random. Okay, so there we have my finished dots. Okay, so I've not strayed too far from that at all. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, I'm just going to move my camera back out so we can move on to the next step. So let's have some black cardstock. Just going to grab some of that, and we'll cut out our other pieces that we need. Right, so the next thing we're going to cut out the word bright from a piece of basic black. And I ummed and ahed with which colour would look best with this, but I just thought black and white really would set it off, so I'm just going to die cut this out on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is behind me. Okay, so here we have the word bright, so that just fits in there like so. So I'm pretty happy with that actually, because on this one it went over a little bit down there. So yeah, bright, and then I'm going to cut out the middle one. So I'm also going to use a piece of this. Now this is Adhesive Sheeting, which is available in the annual catalogue, and this is amazing for detailed dies. Okay, so let's have a piece of this as well. So this is Whisper White. What did I just do with that? There's the adhesive sheet. Right, so here we have the adhesive sheet, and this is where I have to remember how to use this. We're going to peel off the top layer, and this piece here is tacky. Okay, so you're going to put your white cardstock on, and you're going to put your die on like so. Okay, we're then going to wheel that through our die machine, which again is behind me. Okay, so this is what you end up with. Pull that out of there. So you have the white cardstock, and then what you're going to do is you're going to peel off the back. See? And that is sticky. Now, once you've peeled off a little bit of that, you're going to take it to your die, and this is really fiddly, but it's worth it so you don't get in a gluey mess. Basically, it now means that the die that you've cut out is sticky, so you can stick it straight down. Now, I don't use this often because, to be honest, I forget about it, but I'm always pleased I have used it, because it just makes things feel a bit neater. Okay. Let's now peel off the next part. I'm going to peel all that off actually. Okay, and then just line it up where you want it and stick it down. Apologies, you can't really see because my big hands are getting in the way. Oh my gosh, it's so windy. Right, so there you have it. That is completely stuck down. And then the last thing we need is to get the dot out. This is super fiddly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. There it is. Ha! I do love it when things work. Okay, there we have it. So there we have our die cut detailed bright word, and we've used the adhesive sheets to get that stuck. Whew, I can breathe now. Right, so the next step that we're going to do, I'll just bring that back in. We are going to stick this onto here, and I'm going to stick that on with some mini Stampin' directionals. And and I know I don't normally use many of these, but for sticking on words like this I am going to use more than I would normally do, because I don't want it to come off. Excuse the state of my nails, that's on my list to do this evening when I go indoors. The joy of half term and not really having much time to myself. But hey, I've got lots of that coming up over the next month. The girls at school and me at home. So I'm just going to cut another one of these up. Right, there we have it. So we can now stick that onto our background. So there we have it. What do we think? Let me know your thoughts. So we can start building our card together now. Oops. So I'm just taking my piece of white and layering onto some garden green cardstock. The measurements for this are, so my white is 9 centimetres by 13.4 and my green is 9.5 centimetres by 13.9. So now I'm just going to cut up some of the foam adhesive sheets. These are really handy. They're in the main catalogue, the annual catalogue, and these are really, really useful as well. So I'm going to stick this to my card front so that it's nice and raised. So there's quite a bit of dimension going on here. Right, so on to the next step. We can do some stamping. Promised you all some stamping, and of course some fussy cutting. So for this I'm using images from the Peace and Joy stamp set. So this is the Peace and Joy stamp set. So I was just reading a comment then. So this is what goes with the dies. So for example, Bright there, you could also stamp that and die cut that out. Okay, like so, and then you would layer up the Bright in the middle of it as well. So really, really handy stamp set. I'm going to use the holly and these two leaves here. Okay, so someone's just put a comment, do I have all the colours? Louise, yes I do. I've been a demonstrator for 7 years now, so I've had time to build up my collection. I've had time to build up my business. And to be honest, I pretty much, how I did it, Louise, is I invested in a colour collection at a time. So for me, the first colour collection I started with was the subtles. Those are my colours of choice, that's my comfort zone. So I built up my subtles collection first, adding in a few neutrals kind of as the time went on, and then Christmas was the next stage, so I then added in some of the regal colours, and kind of went about it that way. So I found the thing I love most about Stampin' Up is the fact that everything just coordinates. So by choosing a colour collection at a time gives you chance to work with all the colours of the rainbow, but in certain shades that you work with, and they go together so nicely. So yeah, but it has taken me a while. So don't expect to have everything all at once, but always go for things that you like, because if you like them, you'll use them. If you don't like them, like me earlier on tonight, I don't really like the colours I was using, so everything went in the bin. So my advice would definitely be choose colours and products that you love, because you will want to use them. Someone gave me that bit of advice when I started, and I'm really glad that they did. Okay, so now I'm just doing some stamping, and I'm using my Stampin' mat because they're photopolymer stamp sets, and you just get a really better finish when you do that. Okay, so I've stamped in garden green my holly leaves. My berries for my holly are real red, and now these leaves are granny apple green. Okay. Evening, Mum. My mum has just joined, so everyone say hello to my mum. Hope you enjoyed your tea. I spoke to her earlier and she was tucking into her dinner. So now I'm just going to fussy cut around these. We've got a Stampin' Up demonstrator event happening at the end of next week. It's virtual, and I've just made my using this set, and I had to cut out 15, and I had 2 leaves on this, and I had 1 leaf on the card, so I had to cut out 15 of these leaves, 2 hollies per card. Yeah, even I was bored of fussy cutting by the end of it, but they look really good. I'm really pleased with them, and I'm excited to share them with other demonstrators. I will share them with you after the event, so I'm looking forward to doing that with you. Oh no, I haven't, that didn't stamp very well, did it? No. Let's have a look. So Louise, I was thinking about the starter packs. There's 2 of each colour in, maybe start with brights, then get some red and green. That's a really good idea, Louise. Yes, the starter, the colour packs are really useful too. So just go with whatever you feel you will get the most out of. Let's try that now. That's better. I've got a full leaf this time. I'd chopped the top of the leaf off for some reason. And a pack of Whisper White, yes. I would always recommend Whisper White because it has the right finish for the inks. When I first started, I had lots of different white cardstock from different brands, and I just found I wasn't getting the right finish with the inks at all. And as soon as you started using Stampin' Up! Whisper White card, it all came together for me. And a number of my customers also have moved across to Whisper White. Okay, so have I decided which class I'm doing next? I have. And I'm doing both. So watch this space. I will reveal all, hopefully by Friday. But I'm going to be doing 2 classes because I just couldn't choose. And I'm very excited by that. The buttermilk scones were scrummy. I bet they were. Mum's scones are pretty legendary. Okay, one. Feel free to go and make a cup of tea while I'm cutting this lot out. Thanks, Bev. So Bev's just put on there, I must say, Whisper White does give a better stamp effect. Yes, I completely agree with you, Bev. It sure does. Okay, so let's just cut this out and then we can add them all onto our card. 3. There it is. Does anyone else have to cut things out in an order? I have to cut all of one image out and then move on to the next image. I can't cut, for example, a holly and then a berry and then go back to a holly. Anyone else like that? Reading around these berries. Stampin' Up! If for some reason you're listening, I love this stamp set. I love fussy cutting. Love that you've given us dies for the stamps. I would have loved the dies for these images as well. Just saying. Nearly there. And we're done. Okay, so let's just have a look clear down. So now we can start to build together our little image. So I'm going to start by putting these ones down. Oh, here come the fireworks. Okay, that's it. So let's pop these on here. and I'm just sticking them down by the stems. I'm not sticking the actual leaves down, just that it gives a little bit more depth and dimension. Okay, and then for the holly, I'm just going to put a bit of Tombow on top, and then putting that on there. And then for the berries, I've got my glue dots here. Glue dots are really handy, so I'm just going to pop that glue dot, the berries onto the glue dot, pick it off, and then just pop that on like so. Okay, so that's number one. And then in this top corner, I'm just going to add another bit of Tombow again, and then I have one leaf, one holly leaf, two holly leaf, and then again the berries, I'm adding those with a glue dot. Like so. So that's my added bits and pieces for my card, and now we can do our sentiments. So the sentiments I've chosen, we have Merry and, and that is also from the Peace and Joy stamp set. These block sentiments are really handy. And then Christmas Wishes actually comes from Itty Bitty Christmas, and it's here. So it's part of this sentiment, blessed Christmas wishes, or blessed, how do people say that? Blessed, I don't know. That I've cut down. So just like so. I felt like just leaving it with Merry and Bright just didn't sit right with me. I didn't feel, it didn't work for me. So I just added Christmas Wishes down there. So for that we've got some basic black cardstock, and this is quite literally scrap. My favourite punch that's now retired. Anyone else missing the Starburst punch? I am. Okay, so we need, just going to move some of these dies, clear the decks a bit. So to start with, I'm going to use my embossing buddy. That just takes any static away from the cardstock. And then I have a Versamark ink pad and my two sentiments here. Merry and, can't really see that. No, you can't. And then I have some white embossing powder. So the white embossing powder, I tend to decant my embossing powder into a larger tub because I get into a complete mess otherwise. So let's heat that. So you can see that like so. If I was to touch it with my finger, the embossing powder would move, it would smudge. So we want to set that with a heat tool. Okay. I'm just doing that now. And you'll see that will start to go nice and glossy and bright. Like those. Okay. So that's that set there. And then the last one we have is Christmas Wishes. So I've added my Versamark. Give that a good tap to tap off the excess. And then heat that again. That is my embossing now all done, and we're going to cut that out. So these block sentiments are really easy. All I do is I leave a little border of black cardstock showing, So Mary and and then the last one, I have actually trimmed around it, so let's do that now. So for that again, I'm just leaving a little border of black cardstock around the edge and just moving my scissors around it. Well, not moving my scissors, I'm keeping my scissors nice and still and moving my cardstock. That's it, just trimming around, nearly there. Like so. So we have our 3 little sentiments. So first we're going to do Merry and these are going on with glue dots. Just dropped a hand on the floor. There he is. Got him. So let's start with, and we'll pop it in there, and then Merry can go there like so, and then Christmas wishes I'm going to put on with pads because there's quite a lot of depth there already, so I'm just going to trim these mini ones down. How many glue dots? Just one. Not many. Don't need many. That's it. You'll be impressed at how many I used on here though, Mum. Okay, so blessed Christmas wishes. There we have it. So Merry and Bright, Christmas wishes. We've got this lovely dot effect there that I've done with Stampin' blends, and then to finish off we will just add a piece of matching card layers inside. So turn it over. Okay, Louise, you've just asked, am I excited for the new mini catalogue? So because as a demonstrator we get to see new product before anyone else. So this weekend at On Stage, for those of us that have booked our places on a virtual event, we will get to see the January to June mini catalogue along with the first celebration offering of 2021. So yes, I'm incredibly excited. It is one of my highlights of the year, seeing a new catalogue. I'm just gutted I won't be with all my demonstrator friends, but we'll make the most of it. So yes, I am. My card for this evening, few dots, lovely dies, lovely stamps, some fussy cutting and some embossing. And that took 40 minutes, not bad. So thank you so much to everyone who's watched and joined along with me tonight. I've really appreciated you spending your Sunday evening with me. I hope you've enjoyed the cards and the techniques I've used. If you have any questions about the products or techniques I've used, drop me a message and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, if anyone wanted to order any of the products I've used, I've updated my hostess code for November. That's at the top of my business page, and I'll add it to this video afterwards for you. And you will receive a free gift in December. So that's it from me, guys. I'm off now to sort out my dreaded fingernails. and I will see you all at 10 o'clock tomorrow if you can make it, for my weekly coffee and card. Thanks guys, take care now, bye.